Championship fight between Joze Aldo and Max Holloway. Aldo 30 years old, Max Holloway still just 25. Holloway 4 inches taller. To the surprise of some, it is a 1-inch reach advantage for the incumbent Joze Aldo Jr. And now for the official introductions for this most anticipated main event, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Presented by Budweiser, this Bud's for you. Sanctioned by the Brazilian MMA Athletic Commission. Chairman Rafael Fanetti. Executive Director Cristiano Sampaio. Commissioner Caio Portela. Our 3 judges scoring this contest in octagon side are Guillermo Bravo, Derek Clearly, and Chris Lee. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the octagon, Big John McCarthy. And now, Senhoras y Senhores do Brasil, this is the moment UFC fans watching around the world have been waiting for. Live from the sold-out Joze Arena in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. It's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC Featherweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 17 wins, 3 losses. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 145 pounds. Fighting out of Waianae, Hawaii, presenting the interim UFC Featherweight Champion, the challenger, the pride of Hawaii, Max Blessed Holloway. And now introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 26 wins, 2 losses. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing in at 145 pounds. Fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, presenting the former WEC Featherweight Champion and the current UFC Featherweight Champion of the world, Joze Aldo Jr.
Gentlemen, we've gone over the rules in the back. I want you to protect yourself at all times. I want you to obey my commands at all times. I want you to fight hard, but fight clean. If you want to touch gloves, touch them now. Good luck.
It is the first champion versus champion fight to be staged here in Brazil in the UFC. The interim champ, Max Holloway, trying to make it 11 straight wins and leave here the undisputed king of the 45ers against the greatest featherweight in the history of the sport, Joze Aldo Jr. And with that touch of gloves, we are underway. Aldo is wearing the patented black and gold of a champion. Max Holloway is in white.
Now, we were talking about this, Stan. How is Max going to approach this? Conventional, southpaw, we've seen him do both. He's coming out conventional. Let's see how long it takes for Aldo to get the timing on the leg, start beating on it, and see what Max does to recover, or vice versa.
Well, Max has been a very difficult guy to hit in the striking department in his last several fights. One of the areas he has gotten hit, though, is with leg kicks. Ricardo Lamas landed 25 of 28. Jeremy Stevens landed 24 of 26. Cub Swanson 17 of 23. That is one of the major weapons of Joze Aldo. He will need those if he wants to limit that excellent movement of Max Holloway. Chop down the base.
Holloway presses forward, Aldo evades. There was a definite anxiousness here in Brazil when it came to the fans. They want this so badly for their native son, but they understand the challenge in front of him here at Max Holloway.
And Holloway is so good at getting your timing, your rhythm. He's not just a beautiful technician, he's very smart. sees the openings, exploits them over time, just like he did in his last fight against Anthony Pettis. I mean, Anthony Pettis, an excellent fighter, beautiful striker. And Max Holloway was able to just find openings and put him away.
First fight in Brazil for Max Holloway. A lot of fighters might be intimidated by the setting. If you know Max Holloway, that certainly doesn't apply to him. His self-belief dovetails with his skills, resulting in him becoming one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Right hand is good for Aldo.
Look at the range these guys are fighting at, too. Right within each other's distance. It's a great range, great balance. These guys aren't leaning. It's very nice already. I mean, they haven't thrown a lot.
Excellent left hook as he left the clinch there for Holloway.
You're seeing the style differences, too. Aldo much more set.
Oh! Holloway got
big punches.
Joze Aldo follows up. Some early adversity here for the challenger.
Aldo looks quick off that first movement. His explosion is so well. Max always gets stronger as the fight goes on, so sometimes he takes damage in these early rounds. It gets stronger as he starts getting hit.
Well,
let's see what happens.
One of the signatures of this great win streak is how fluent he is with his movement, constantly switching stances, getting in and getting out safely with excellent combinations. He's a little bit standing in front of Joze Aldo right now, lands a nice right hand there, but this isn't the same Max Holloway we've seen his past few fights.
He looks much more fluid against other opponents. You're right, Stan. He's switching more. He's just more loose. He's more relaxed. It looks like he's thinking a little bit much, and he might need to relax as the rounds go on. We'll see as the fight progresses.
Under 2 minutes here to go in round one. Can barely hear inside this capacity arena.
There's the jab of Joze Aldo, the tool he used against another guy who's a high-output fighter, Frankie Edgar, and time again, that jab stopped Frankie Edgar's combinations dead in their tracks.
And don't forget, that means Aldo's used to the feints, used to the fakes. Edgar uses those very well, footwork, movement, angles. And right now, Max is using none of those, which he usually does.
And he's throwing with less volume. Typically, Max Holloway lands almost at twice the amount of significant strikes in a fight than Joze Aldo does. Volume was a really big factor in this fight, but that early explosion of Joze Aldo seems to have Holloway a little hesitant.
Max is waiting far too much, and Aldo's getting the better of him in this first round in the exchanges because he's waiting. Max has the height, he has the reach, he's not using it very well right now.
What else we're not seeing is Max Holloway using his side and front teeps to the knee to break your rhythm, to break your counter strikes. He does that a lot to other fighters. Did it to Pettis, did it to Swanton, did it to Lamas. Not using any of them so far tonight.
And mostly when you see that out of Max, it's because he's in southpaw position. He throws because it's close to Aldo's lead leg if he's southpaw. He hasn't licked southpaw stance one time, and that's one of his most effective positions.
Now it seems like he's starting to loosen up a little bit.
Spinning attack is good for Holloway towards the end of round one, but a strong start for the champion Joze Aldo.
And as we see here, Aldo fakes the right, comes with the left, and he throws the left 2 times, lands it once, hurts Max, then comes with the right and another left, starts flurrying on Max, throws a beautiful jump knee down the middle at the end of that combination that you missed, and then he fakes the overhand, comes with the uppercut. I mean, this is called putting 2 together, and that's what it takes to be a champion, because you see Aldo faking one and switching it to the other. That's putting 2 together, and it's tricking Max in that first round.
Off the right, off to the right side, bring up the hook, okay? Let's get some of those, when he brings those big left hooks, let's go underneath it with the right hand. It's not good all the time. Let's bring it a little bit, then we gotta push it over going to the right, okay? Sit up and build off of it, this is fakes, okay?
You gotta make him walk backwards. You're brand new. Same game.
Hard to recall the last time Max Holloway lost a round for Joze Aldo Jr. Just so sound defensively, he's gone. I mean, the consummate moving target.
You know, he's just so fast. It's one thing to outstrike other guys, but this man's instincts, his reflexes, he is so quick.
And they both look looser in this second round. I think it's going to be a more effective round for both offensively. They got a rhythm now. They've been hit a little bit. They're warmed up. Perfect liver shot.
No leg kicks so far for Joze Aldo. You know, we haven't seen many in his last 3 fights, but 2 out of those 3 fighters were high-level wrestlers, and he said strategically, I didn't want to throw them because they were waiting to catch them. Here, he did say he wanted to kick Max Holloway more, but hasn't had to so far.
I think Max would do better to start going to the body early. He's having a hard time hitting Aldo in the head. Aldo's countering well, so rip the body, it takes away the counters from Aldo.
I'd like to see Max switch the stances as well. He throws very fluid from southpaw, and that makes it very confusing to defend him because he's so diverse.
Maybe his defense probably isn't as sharp in southpaw position in his own mind, so he doesn't want to risk it. But
it has to be.
He has to do it, though, because it's what his gift is switching. And that teep kick he uses is so effective to hide his lead step.
Another good combination for Joze Aldo. Now Holloway returns fire.
When Holloway expected the toughest rounds to be early, he believes that Aldo, as we've seen before, will slow down as the fight goes. So, seemed very calm in his corner, but man, what a weapon it is to have this crowd behind you.
It looks like Max is kind of trying to weather the storm of Aldo for the first 3 and then pick it up as the fight goes on. But right now, he's not challenging Aldo a whole lot with the feints in the offense as much as he usually does, so Aldo can conserve his energy more.
And Holloway came in averaging 13 significant strikes thrown per minute. Well off that pace here early, largely due to the opposition that is the greatest featherweight of all time.
Aldo's defense just stays so tight. His hands are always up where they're supposed to be. I mean, he moves well, he doesn't bend.
Oh, best combination of the fight there for Holloway. And you know what? What Holloway does so well typically is he attacks you at multiple levels. He doesn't normally just headhunt. So far tonight, we've seen primarily combinations to the head, vice the body, the legs with kicks, punches, elbows, everything. Max's creativity, his diversity is a big weapon. He's got to get to using that.
As he's getting warmer, though, you're seeing him start to feint. You're seeing him start to relax, and he's moving better now. I think as the fight progresses, you're going to see Max pick it up now. He's waiting a little time for Aldo to loosen up and wait for Aldo to get a little bit tired before he starts upping the offense, I think. And we're starting to see the offense out of Max now.
Aldo made 7 successful title defenses before running into Conor McGregor. Oh, big right hand from Holloway.
With the right. Max is landing more effectively now. He's getting the timing of Aldo.
Well, he used broken timing on his own. He delayed that right hand, and that's why it landed. That was a heavy, heavy shot.
Oh! These gentlemen hit with a lot of power. Can you hear it? Every time it lands on the shoulders.
You saying you don't want to bump up to featherweight, Dom?
Anything. Oh! Big right hand landed.
Beautiful counter there for Joze Aldo. He's timing the jab of Holloway now. And Holloway came back with a right high kick because Aldo was slipping to the left of the jab.
Holloway just out of range with the uppercut.
And we're seeing the pace come up on Max. He's stepping it up now. Pouring it on a little bit better on Aldo now.
Prevailing wisdom was that if we hit the championship rounds, that Holloway would be the fresher fighter given his recent history. Less than a minute here to go in round 2.
Oh, that jab of Joze Aldo is absolutely gorgeous.
You see a pretty significant hematoma on the left side of the head of Joze Aldo.
Max starting to open up more now, landing a nice body kick. Something he does very well, attack the body. Hasn't done it often in this fight, but he should.
You see how Aldo's moving the trunk, but his feet stay stationary. That's where Max would do well to either throw the low kicks or go to the body whenever you see Aldo lean. And feint more.
Wow. I mean, who does that against Joze Aldo? Max Holloway does. Aldo cracks him with the right hand. Now Holloway able to land. Oh! Whoa! What a finish to round 2.
Awesome fight, awesome. These guys are going at it, it's beautiful.
Joze Aldo getting a little sloppy. Max Holloway lands a nice straight right hand. There, beautiful left hook of Joze Aldo catches Holloway coming in. And there, again, the jab of Joze Aldo, one of his very best weapons. And there, as he faded away to the left to slip the jab, lands the overhand right. And then at the end of the round, man, these two putting on a show, going toe-to-toe. Holloway starting to loosen up, though.
You don't have to match it every single time. You got him. Right? Be smart. Okay? You got this guy.
Max, pick up the volume a little bit. That's right. Tap him out, man. Let's go. Tap, 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 huh?
So the Holloway corner calling for more volume, Brian. We mentioned one of their common opponents, Ricardo Lamas, and Holloway threw almost twice as many significant strikes in 3 rounds against Lamas as Joze Aldo did over 25 minutes of a championship fight. We'll see how Holloway chooses to attack here early round 3.
And that was the biggest difference in these two coming to this fight was the volume. Holloway averages almost 6 significant strikes landed a minute in comparison to Aldo, who's more around 3. That's twice the output, but the jab of Joze Aldo stops a lot of volume.
And Aldo's counters are among the best in the whole world as well, so you can't just throw with reckless abandonment against him. You got to feint, you got to set everything up with 2 moves, or else you get countered by Aldo.
Third round of a possible 5 here to determine the undisputed UFC featherweight champion.
I'm really shocked at the lack of leg kicks by Aldo in this fight so far, because they're at such a close range as well.
And you know, I talked to him a few days ago, and he mentioned he was absolutely going to use that.
That jab of Aldo is being the most effective. Big right hand over the top of the jab of Aldo.
Holloway's starting to dictate the pace here. Pressure Aldo, and he's starting to get into a rhythm. And like I said earlier, once he does, man, it is hard to break it.
In and out, in and out. Max goes in and out and is making it tough. And just listening to his coaches, throwing the numbers, getting more rate up, getting a higher work rate up.
And he did it again there. He made Aldo miss again.
And Holloway is absolutely fine with this type of firefight. Big knee for Joze.
Big left hand by Max.
Tie up here. Holloway punches out.
And this is where confidence plays such a big factor. You come out here, Aldo has a great start to this fight, crowd in your ear, but now Holloway uses that confidence to overcome it, get into a rhythm here in round 3, and so far the best start to a round yet for Max Holloway.
Well, immediately following the main event, we will recap all of tonight's action from Rio on the UFC 212 post-fight show. Oh! Max Holloway knocks down Joze Aldo! The champ in recovery mode here. Holloway has Aldo mounted.
Excellent job by Aldo not to get stuck in the mount, but Holloway's not going to let him off the hook that easy.
Aldo's hurt badly. He's trying to recover, but he still can't get right. You can tell. He's trying to hold on to Max from the bottom right now and survive. He's doing okay. I think he's still in it. Max gets that mount. It's going to be rough. Nice by Aldo to recover. He's still in this. He's still got to get up, though. He's got to get up. Aldo can't stay here and win this fight right here.
Holloway with a big right hand.
Got him. It's over. He's got Aldo hurt so bad. It's looking over, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, you wonder how many more shots here Joze can take. Thought about giving up the back there. Now mounted again.
Such a sturdy mount by Max. It's so hard to get him off the top. Now he's going to go to back mount.
Amazing groundwork here from Max Holloway against an excellent grappler, Joze Aldo. Not under the chin yet, but he may be able to stretch him out. Good transition for Max. He may be able to catch him here and flatten him out.
Oh, Aldo's hurt so bad right now. He's trying to recover.
Oh, huge right hand. Look at the beautiful floating of Max Holloway on top.
Look for the arm triangle here. He's got it. Aldo's giving it. He's giving his arm, but Max just wants to punch and look for the finish with the TKO. It's looking like just staying busy non-stop.
Oh, Aldo
can't get him off.
The heart of Joze Aldo here on full display.
Oh, it's under the chin. Nope.
Holloway bails on the choke, now pounding away on Joze Aldo.
He gave a thumbs up again.
Oh, Aldo trying to stay in this fight, but the Hawaiian
Aldo's
Holloway
still in it.
pouring it on. That'll do it! Max Holloway! Max Holloway is the undisputed UFC featherweight champion. Hawaii, stand up! Max Holloway has come to Rio de Janeiro and finished the greatest featherweight of all time. 11 straight wins for Max Holloway. Hawaii has a champion once again. Astonishment across this arena here in Rio.
Incredible to come down here to Rio and have the start of the fight be the way it was. Aldo protesting that stoppage heavily, but you just can't sit there and continually eat those shots. Big John in his ear letting him know he was exhausted at that point. I don't think it was going to stop.
And a lot of emotion is going to spill over here in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. They put so much into this fight, and the king of Rio, Joze Aldo. But tonight belongs to Max Blessed Holloway. He has felt really for 2.5, 3 years that he has been the #1 featherweight in the world, celebrating with his team, his friends, his family. Max Holloway completes the mission tonight.
You can't state how difficult a task it is to do what he did. Not just coming down to Rio and taking on a fighter as brilliant as Joze Aldo, but after rounds 1 and 2, where we really saw Joze Aldo fighting very well, countering him very well, Max came out in round 3 and seemed to have found his timing and his rhythm, and he was outstanding there in round 3 and get the finish.
I like that Max gave away the first round, said it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay, go ahead, Aldo. Go ahead and land. He was planning this the whole time. He knew he would turn up in the 3rd round. Great game plan by Max and his team.
This fight replay is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. And Dom, it is going to take a special effort to dethrone the new champion, Max Blessed Holloway.
Absolutely. I mean, the way that this guy works after the 1st and 2nd round, he keeps the rate up. He waits for you to punch back. He keeps the range so nice. It was a 1-2 pull, 1-2 basics. You wait for Aldo to counter, and then you fire again, 1-2. He waited for the counter hook, came back with another 1-2. Beautiful finish. Then he goes straight to the mount. Then he takes the back, goes back to the mount throughout this exchange with Aldo, passes the guard, keeps punching. Aldo just couldn't keep up. Max was on him, going back and forth from the back mount to the mount, knee on belly, punching, floating, wearing Aldo out from the bottom until Aldo just couldn't escape anymore. And the referee had to stop it. This was the end of the fight. Right here, Aldo just couldn't get the hooks out from Max. He couldn't get Max off the top of him. He was almost hoping the ref wouldn't stop it and just let Max punch. But you got to protect the fighter here, and Aldo was looking like he couldn't protect himself.
Yeah, McCarthy gave Aldo every benefit of every doubt. Max Holloway, the official decision brought to you by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. One final time tonight. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Big John McCarthy has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 13 seconds of round number 3, declaring the winner by TKO, and now the undisputed UFC featherweight champion of the world, Max Blessed Holloway.
All right, I'm here with your winner, Max Blessed Holloway. Max, incredible performance. You've worked so hard. You've won so many fights. What's it feel like to get the undisputed title wrapped around your waist tonight?
Estamos aqui com o vencedor Max Holloway. Foi uma luta incrível. Você trabalhou tão duro. Como é que você se sente vencendo aqui essa noite?
First and foremost, I gotta thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Second of all, I got a lovely son at home. Baby, Rush, you got another gold one, baby. You got another gold belt. And I gotta thank these guys behind me, the guys over there. Without my team, I ain't shit. And I gotta thank Brazil. You guys showed me nothing but love over here. I understand you guys have to cheer on your fellow countrymen, but at the end of the day, you guys fight fans, and I love you guys for that.
Primeiramente eu tenho que agradecer Jesus Cristo e meu filho, tá aqui mais um cinturão dourado, eu tenho que agradecer toda a minha equipe, todo mundo. Brasil, vocês me mostraram muito amor, eu lutei aqui contra o compatriota de vocês e vocês só me mostraram amor essa semana.
Max, it seemed like you started a little slow tonight, but in round 3, when you got your rhythm, it was a left, right, left that started the onslaught. How did you feel about the finish?
Parece que você começou um pouquinho devagar, mas depois no terceiro round você acelerou o ritmo. Como é que você se sentiu ali no final da luta?
I've been telling you guys already, this is blessed era. Dana White, where's my 50K? I want my check. And I see you guys in Hawaii, UFC Hawaii. Make it happen, baby. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Max blessed Holloway.
Dominic Cruz, how about it? Self-belief for days, and Max Holloway comes up as big as he has ever come up here tonight on the road.
Told everybody what he's going to do and went out there and did it. And he didn't just do it, but he did it with strategy. I mean, he used tactics to beat Aldo. You can't just beat Aldo. You've got to be patient. And he waited out Aldo's power. He waited out Aldo's explosion, waited out his quickness. And in that third round, he really turned it up. And that was a read that we've had over years and years of watching Aldo. And like Max said, he's been watching him since he was 17. With those kind of reads, you make the adjustments. Nice job by Max.
And we have watched Max Holloway evolve from prospect to contender to interim champion to undisputed UFC featherweight champion of the world. Made his UFC debut before his 21st birthday, and here he is at 25 years old, carving out one of the all-time great UFC legacies. What a night of finishes and UFC action tonight in Rio de Janeiro.